is why I said we discussed the priority matrix last month. And I also mentioned the umbrella goal this morning. Now, this is the practical part of this class. If you don't get anything else and you get this part of the session, you have understood how to work more and achieve this. So what you do when you're establishing priorities is think about your umbrella goal. You know, we had earlier said that you draw the list of the things you have to do. You dump everything down. What you want to do in the morning is arrange it. When you are practicing savers, I would repeat what the acronyms mean for people who were not here. The first S is silence for meditation. A is for affirmations. V is for visualization. These are things we practice every morning. V is for visualization. E is for exercise. R is for reading. And the last S is for scribing. So it's after you've done everything else that you begin to write. Even if you rearrange, writing out what you have to do is always best left last. Because by that time, you would have visualized your umbrella goal. You would have spoken affirmations, realizing your goals to yourself. You would have brought to the top of your mind what it is you want from life. So by the time you are analyzing and prioritizing the things you have to do that day, you know which of those things impact what you want in life and which ones are just nice to do. Some things will get you closer to where you want to go. Some things are just required for survival. Some things will just make you a nice person. At every point in life, the most important thing to you must be what will get you where you want to go. And this is why it's important that you have reminded yourself of your umbrella goal before you prioritize your to-do list. And that's why the affirmations and the visualization must come before you doctor your to-do list. It makes it easy for you to identify which of these goals would impact my future. The same way you select your umbrella goal from your goals, all your goals, which one has the greatest impact on your future? When you have your to-do list in the day, you pick which one has the greatest impact on your future. And that is the thing you do first. Then the next in level of impact goes second, third, and all that. You are not permitted to have, like, let me have 10 things on your to-do list, we should be worried for you. Because I am sure that from 8 to 10 is not impacting your future. And it's not in the way you desire. Can we say that? And it's not in the way we desire. So the test of your activity is what effect will it have on my future. If it will not affect your future positively or have a great impact on your future, there are two things you can do with it. Either you try to find time to do it if there's time, or you get somebody else to do it. It means you don't have to do it. It's not worth the investment of your time. The test is, how does this thing impact my life? How does it contribute to the big picture I have? It is your job to focus on the most valuable use of your time. And the most valuable use of your time is applying your time to the things that can make your dreams come true. Dreams do come true. So every day, make sure you are looking for the things that will have the greatest impact on your life and on your career and on your business. So, when you are prioritizing, think of where you are today and think of where you want to be in 5 years' time. Look at the activities you are engaged in. and determine which one of them can get me there. The ones that are not taking you there, dump them. These are examples. This is like the priority matrix, but instead of urgent and important, we are putting the types of activities that qualify. The things that are important are the ones going up, the things that are urgent are the ones going, well, to my right, which should be to your left. Crisis, pressing issues, deadlines, those ones are urgent, and they are important when they relate to your life and business. Interruptions might be urgent, they are not always important. You are in the middle of a meeting that will determine whether your life will go forward or not, and the cook at home is calling you whether it's rice you want for lunch or not. It is 2 hours before you eat. To that cook, it is urgent. To you, it is not important. That's why interruptions, some meetings are urgent and important because they directly impact your future. A meeting with the person you will collaborate with to achieve your dream is urgent and important. A meeting to find out, those street meetings, how much you will pay security. It's not urgent. Well, because they have a timeline, it might be urgent, but it is not important. That's why it's at the bottom. Some emails, they are nice to read, but we only read them when we have time. You know those mailing lists you are subscribed to? Brian Tracy sends me a mail every day. Roach sends me a mail every week. There are things that will improve my life, but they are important somehow, but they can never be urgent. So there are things I will do later. These things, trivia, junk mail, emails I did not sign up for that they sent to me. Mindless diversion, the games on your phone, the Snapchat, the TikTok, they are the things to drop. Don't even ever go there. The planning relationships, they are important, but they are hardly ever urgent. There are things you need to decide you need to do. There are things you must find time for. Self-development, recreation, breaks, they are important because they make you fresh. They help your mind get sharp. They help you apply everything else. So the top quadrant, the one to my left, your right, is the things you need to find time to do. The urgent and important ones are the things you must attend to first. The ones at the bottom, the ones you will jump, and the ones you will delegate. Those interruptions, sometimes you might need to pass somebody your phone to answer some calls, especially those family meeting calls that can last 1 hour. And you know that they are talking about the price of spaghetti, who will buy the clothes somebody will wear next year. Those things, because it helps the family bond sometimes, you can always excuse yourself from them. Because in the full picture, when you think of where you want to be in 5 years' time, that discussion is not going to move you forward. It is important that you always focus on the best use of your time. Are we together? And we are gaining something. Okay. Now, when you have fixed your to-do list in the morning, I just want to chip this thing here. When you have fixed your to-do list in the morning, during the course of the day, some things come up. How do you handle them? Because there are some things that will come up as urgent. There are other things that will come up as important. I always advise, write it into your to-do list and reprioritize. Because the people that are knocking on your door and shouting emergency, they are the ones that have the emergency. It might not be you. That interruption that is stopping you from doing your most important activity might be somebody else's most important activity. So it is important that before you jump into any activity, you sit down and think, how important is this thing to me? If you are going to be leaving something you are going to be doing for it, then you must know that it is more important than what you are needing to attend to it. Don't let anybody steal your day. Don't let anybody steal your time. They will come, they will try. Will you be available? That is the question you must always ask yourself when people come to donate activities to you. they have added you to a committee you did not sign up for. They want your help with something. At the point at which that interruption comes, you must calculate by yourself how important is this thing to my future. Then put it in the right place on your to-do list. And then resolve in your own heart that until I have done the most important thing to my future, I will not do this. Otherwise, you will be too busy making the dreams of other people come true to work on your own dreams. And trust me, everybody in your life is trying to get you to work on their dreams and not your own. Everybody, including your parents and your children. So, when an interruption comes, we prioritize. The most important word in time management is consequences. What are the consequences of doing that thing? What are the consequences of not doing that thing? How does it impact your life? There are a lot of things we do that don't really impact our lives. Personally, I'm just learning one, that I should not respond to all messages that come to my phone. I have a bad habit. When I see a notification, it will be bothering me. I must read it. But I had a very, very important meeting on Saturday. And the outcome was going to affect some streams of income that was going to come to me in the future. And the meeting was going to take some 3-4 hours. I now discovered that I actually had the talent to pick my phone, scroll up, scroll down, and put it back down without checking what they said. I'd never done it before. But I have learned. Who said it? What is it about? Is it worth reading now? If it's all those broadcasts, we can read it maybe when we are in the bathroom or you are waiting for something to happen. But you will not interrupt a very important meeting to read a broadcast. So it is your own duty to understand the consequence of what you are giving your attention to. How does it impact your life? It also helps you if you keep your vision in mind. If you are always thinking about your goal, you will automatically know that this one is not contributing to it. Let's leave it behind. But then, are you thinking about your goals actively all the time? It's important that we do so. Now, this delegation, I'm going to talk about it because it is how many of us need, is what many of us need to learn to help us work better. When I was much younger, I used to hear a Yoruba proverb that says, and I did not really appreciate it until I discovered that I was an alagara. What that means is that when I send somebody to go and wash the bathroom, 5 minutes later, I am collecting the sponge because they did not wash it well. When I say cook for me, you will not be hearing, don't forget to put salt, so use the black pot and not the green one. Micromanaging tasks. In essence, you are the one that is still doing it. Your mind is still there. The other thing you are doing, you are not there, you are not there. None will be done well because you lack focus. Why? Sometimes some of us don't tell ourselves that we are women, we can multitask. I can do so much. I can take on more. I have the power. That's why how we were built. Hello? You get better done with focus. Focus has power. You cannot become an expert at anything if you are a jack of all trades. And you don't make significant progress in life unless you are an expert at something. You'll be amazed that what you are an expert at will seek you out. How many of us know how your makeup went? What stood out? When nobody talks about her fried rice. Nobody is saying anything about her jollof rice. Whether she knows how to cook egusi or not, we will never know. But she went to cook moi in the White House. So if you want to even look down on your baby you that you can cook. Look down on it. And Moi carried her to White House. But that's because she knows what she's good at. She can focus on her own focus. This one is the one they sent me. I know how to do it. As a matter of fact, we got to a stage that the Moi became routine. The child that knows how to peel the beans knows how to peel it. The one that knows how to grind it knows how to grind it. I'm sure she no longer mixes that Moi today. She has taught somebody. But you see, she's the brand. And it's the branch that went to the White House. As a matter of fact, whoever they went to the White House, I'm not sure she cooked it. But they ate Moi in the White House because she cooks Moi. She'll be giving direction. Why? Because she mastered the art of dedication. But by the time you say you want to cook 15 pots for 5,000 parties, you know there will be problem because there's only so much one person can do. And that's why it's important in life. You know, I've used home example, I've used business example. In life and business, it is important to learn the art of delegation. Now, everything I'm going to say about delegation is from the book, How to Run a Business That Thrives in Your Absence. It's at the back. If you are at that stage of your business where there's a lot of pressure on you, and you know that at this point you need to replicate yourself, I would advise you to get that book. But I'm going to share tips from that book on delegation. If this activity in your to-do list is urgent, but you know it is not important, all those activities that you have seen that are not going to affect where your life would be, where you want it to be in 5 years, you need to learn how to get somebody else to do it, and that is delegation. Delegation is assigning a task or a responsibility to another person, even though it's your own. So, if it can be done by somebody else, the person doesn't have to do it 100% like you. If it can be done by somebody else up to 70%, please note that that activity is a prime activity for delegation. Responding to mails. I personally have a problem with who I just called to greet you. That thing walks me up. Don't call to greet me. Send a text. If you send a text, I can read it at any time. If you call, I have to answer you in the middle of what I'm doing. And sometimes it can throw me off track with what I'm doing. Send a text. Why will you call to greet me? Why are you greeting me? Why are you greeting me? Where is that greeting taking me to? How is it matching my 5-year plan? Don't call to greet me. There are even some people that when they call, the answer is not hello, how are you? No, what is it this time? You know, because you want them to get straight to the point. And you know that there are some people in your life. They first of all say how the bus now stop on the way, and then they now use their leg to eat. So before they get to what they are saying, for those kind of people, they are called, then you get it. Get somebody else to take that one and give you action points from inside that conversation. They will talk for 15 minutes, they will be only one action point. The end of the day, they will send credit, but we have done 15 minutes of conversation before we got there. Now, delegation is a very basic skill you need to achieve your full potential. You know, we have said that the work that earns money is mind work. And that means that at every point, your handwork has to be something you can delegate. So how do we delegate? There are different ways to delegate. If you are priming yourself for delegation, you have not tried this before, but you have people in your life that can do that thing. You can do the directive style of delegation, which is have them watch you when you do it. By the time you have done it 1 time, 2 times, 3 times in front of them, the next time you say, okay, you do it. That is directive style of delegation. They have seen you do it, and then they try to do it like you. That's how many of us teach our children house chores, how to cook. They just, as a growing child, there was a rule. Your mommy must not be in the kitchen and you'll be anywhere else. Even if you're not doing it, you just stand there. That's how many of us learn to cook. Because one day she will just not be there, and that food was come out. You know, the first day it had sauce. The next day it did not smell well. The third day, by the 1 month, everybody was eating food as good as mommy's own. That is also how you treat your staff. If it is something like the production she does with her baking business. They watch her do it. When she's not there, they can reproduce the process. The next one is the next style rather is management by exception. And how do you do it? You set the goal. This is what I want to do. For those kind of people, they have a level of experience. They know what they're doing. That's why some hairdressers will employ stylists. Some tailors will employ people with experience to help them sew. Because they don't want to be teaching you how to cut. They don't even have time to teach you how to cut. Basically, they can even cut for you, but you do the joining and then they do the marketing. Management, you tell them, management style, you tell them, this is the goal. This is the standard. This is the timeline. Get to work. Because they're experienced, they don't come back to you unless there's a problem. And even if there's a problem and they come back to you, the first thing you need to do is put them in a position to solve that problem. Because you have told them the goal. You are giving them the resources they need to achieve it. You have told them the standard. If there's a break in transmission, so what do you think we should do? Because these people are people who, if they had enough money on their own, can run that business. So you don't micromanage those kind of people. They are not telling them to come and watch you do it because you don't want to spoil their own flavor as well. And sometimes when we have some people in our businesses, they can actually bring more people than you if you leverage on the difference between them and you. Some of us like doing the same thing the same way all the time, which is why we lose some customers. Because they don't really like our exact way of doing it. But if you have somebody else that has a different flavor, then you can have a broader spectrum of responses to your customers. If you let that person do a thing, just give a standard for a thing, just give a standard, then you will be able to achieve a little bit more. Now, easy interaction is when you yourself know that this person should be partner, but the person is still with you. In that kind of situation, you just counsel, mentor, and guide. So when you see, it's only when you see that there's something wrong with what the person is doing that you correct. And the correction is said in easy interactive style. You just talk about it. Say why your way of doing it is better or why what you think they should add to it would help. Of course, value is always recognized. So if you are exchanging value and making sense, the person would help you do it the right way. Now there are some rules for delegation. It's still the same rule for recruitment. The first thing is that the person you are delegating to must be the right person. You must be able to match the job you want to do to the ability and the personality of the person you are delegating to. Ability is different from personality. There are some people that know how to work very well, but they don't know how to relate with people. So the ones that know how to work, when you are delegating tasks to them, you delegate production tasks to them. The ones that know how to relate with people, there's some people that people love. You don't put those people in the production room. You put them in the customer-facing room. So if you are not there and you need to attend to customers, put those people that can play with anybody, put them in interaction room. And that's what I mean when I say that you must be able to choose the right person to delegate to. Some people, they are so hot that they cannot interact very well with other people. I had to sit with my father in recruitment exercises. He had a law firm. He would tell you point blank that he will never recruit a lawyer that finished with a first class. Because he does litigation. The lawyer that finished with the first class should be lecturing. Because it's academic in nature. A first class graduate in law, I don't know about other disciplines, so in law is technically not suitable for the streets. You know streets? You understand streets? They know the law. That's the problem. translate this Yoruba. Ayidike and Ayidika. How to maneuver things, how to play mind games. And that is it. The practice of law is a function of perception. As a matter of fact, I used to tell my classmates in school that between you and I, the answer we are writing, there's no answer. They will give you case and say what solve the problem. There's no answer. It's the person that can convince the lecturer. You argue for, I argue against. Anybody can win. It's the person with the persuasive skills that wins. Now the person that is academic does not know how to exert sentiment. You will study the judge and know what they will be biased towards. And that's why they will say the person that knows the law should not go and represent you, especially when it's divorce case. You want to do divorce. You are the man that is petitioning for divorce. You now go and pick a female judge. They will give everything to the woman, naturally. The man is trying to cheat her. Before they hear what you have to say, the man is trying to cheat her. They are biased against you. But the man that knows the law does not realize that if you take a divorce case to a female judge, the woman will get the house and the car. There is no how they are dividing it. She wants to take care of the children. Won't you support her? They will give her money allowance, they will give her house, they will give her car. But some people who did not have first class, that's what they are doing. They don't even want to know the law first. They want to go and look for the lawyer, they will look for the judge that is having the divorce the husband. That's the judge the case must go to, and they will make sure that case goes to that person. They want the case with that person. Because that person is biased. They will not look for facts that look like what's happening in their house. That knowing what works is extremely important, but it also helps you pick who you will delegate what to. Which part? Knowing what works will help you pick who you will delegate to. Because sometimes, as a matter of fact, all the time, people don't make buying decisions based on how good what you are selling is. They make it based on how they feel about it. And how they feel about it might just be because the person that you sent to them connected with them or something that might not even be related to the product. That's why they will say, why do you buy from them? But you know, that's how we all form connections. You will be surprised at the places where you see and you look at the person talking and the people she's talking, and you know they cannot have any anywhere. But you know there's a connection. It's this connection that helps us make progress. So choose the right person that will have the right connection to the task. The next thing is to think through the task on paper. Many of us do a lot of things routinely without ever considering it. Do you know that if you ever wrote out the process of what you do, you will find out some dead activities you have in your process that you might not need to do? Like every morning when you wake up, you boil water, you do this, you do that. If you list it out on paper, you can actually query every step. Why do I even boil that water? The last 5 times I boiled it, nobody used it. But because every morning you boil water, since when you are babies, you boil water, they are now 10, you boil water, they are 15, you boil water, and you are still boiling water. You know, it took me a long while to understand that the water I put in that glass, nobody is using it. So why do I wake up, boil water, and put water in the glass? You know when you have a baby, you must have a glass of hot water. Hey, they are in secondary school, what is the glass of hot water? You don't see it as what I do. You know, but many of us pick up routines like that. You know, I just keep doing the same thing day in, day out without querying it. Write out everything you do on paper and everything you need to make it happen. What that will do for you is that the day you can't do it, you already do everything you need to make available to the person that will do it in your stead. Sometimes it's at the point of requiring structure in your business that you begin to do job description. If you had written out the activity before, it will be easier to pull out the one you want to give to somebody and the ones you want to retain. Because at that point, you will be able to assess that person's skill, assess the person's personality, and know what they can handle out of everything. Somebody was asking me that I have specific people that do specific things for me, and I said yes, because that is what they can do out of what I do. And some people wonder, what is that person doing for you? Me, I know. You don't worry. Because there are some errands I cannot send, so I need somebody else I can send. But because you don't understand the way my work is divided, I understand better because I have analyzed the things I do. And I know what I can delegate to who. Also, I've already said, start with the end in mind. 7 habits of effective people. Stephen Covey. Start with the end in mind. If the end is in your mind, you know who will help you get there. You know who you don't even need on the train at all. Keep that picture of the end in your mind at all times. Now, because you are now sent somebody to do it, it does not mean you are going to sleep over. You can get into trouble if you go to sleep, especially if that person has not done it repeatedly a number of times. So, who is responsible for the result? You are. But who have you entrusted with the process? Somebody else. But the results you get is a direct reflection of how you delegated it. If you did delegate well, if the person is in the wrong place, don't forget, it is still your fault because you picked the person. So if the person doesn't do it well, it is still your responsibility because you are the one that told who would do it. You are the one that told the person how you wanted them to do it. You are the one that told them the standard of performance. You gave the timeline. If it's the timeline that was too short, you know they will do nonsense. That's when they will cook things that did not get soft. Because you said they should give you things in 30 minutes. You know, if your timeline is not realistic, you are still responsible for the result. So don't abdicate responsibility because you have delegated. But of course, you must also resist the urge to micromanage. It's not every step of the way that you'll be coming to say how far. But please check in. There are 2 effects that the book I mentioned talks about in getting people to work effectively when tasks have been delegated to them. The first one is the Pygmalion effect. You can always read these things up on Google. And the Pygmalion effect says that people will perform in line with your expectation. So when you tell your child to go and cook rice, and you say, when you send your staff to go and buy supplies, I'm sure they will cheat you. They will cheat your staff. Because you are not expecting any good from that person. That person has picked your expectation and will display your expectation right back at you. So even when you have that, it's important that when you are delegating, you expect a level of faith in the person's ability. As a matter of fact, sometimes the person you are delegated to would express doubt in their own ability. It is important that you say, were you not the one that did ABCD for me last week? Were you not the one that did QYZ for me 2 months ago? Then this is child's play. In doing that, you are building up their own confidence in their ability to do it. But please note, what you expect they can pick, they will leave. So if you don't expect that staff, you have labeled that staff as your problematic staff in your mind, they will continue to be your problematic staff, even when they are trying to change. Because they are picking your expectations. Over time, even you begin to have backup plan by yourself. That I have sent her, but she will sleep off her pocket. Let me tell somebody else to do it because she will not do it well, or she will not do it at all. Your staff will pick up your expectations as they go along. The second effect is the Galatia effect, and that is that person would also do what they are doing in line with their own perception of their ability. This is why it is important for you to affirm them and help them believe in themselves. You know the example I gave, you begin to remind them of things they have done before along those lines. It will build their self-confidence. If they believe in themselves, they will be able to work it. They won't come back to you every 2 minutes to say, okay, so this one I've done, is it okay? Can I go to the next step? They will believe in themselves and try to do it a bit further before they come to you. Are we still together? Yes. Are we getting something? Yes. Okay, so from here now, I want to start sharing some specific tips. This is the greatest, no, N-O, no, is the greatest time-saving word in the world. Please say no. No. I didn't say no. Say to the people that want to come and steal your time, your dream, your life, your results. If you allow them, they will. And you keep achieving less every day because they will keep coming. If they don't send themselves, the devil will send them to come and disturb you. Especially when you're getting closer to the dream. That's when also, I don't know that when things look like they're shaping up, that's when the challenges will come. You need to identify distractions as distractions. I know that you're closer to your goal, that's why they're coming. And say what? No. If what you are being asked to do is not going to impact your future in any way, you know there are some things we do for relationship's sake. Because we know that that relationship is going to build a bridge for you in the future. That's different. There are some people you need to serve now because they will serve you later. You know we have mentioned network before. You need to consciously build your network. There are some favors you will do because when you are doing a favor for somebody that is bigger than you, you are investing in your future. Even if the person is not asking, you can volunteer because you know what kind of role that person can play in your future. That's a different thing. It is you assessing where you are going and deciding. I don't know if you always hear it, but me, I hear it all the time. Every time Dr. Abib speaks, he says, don't let your friends choose you. Choose them. Look at where you are going. Pick the people that can take you there. Or the people that are likely to even be going there. The ones that are not going there, please say what? No. If that activity is not going to be productive, is not going to add value to your life, is not going to add value to your future, please say no. So I want to talk about 6 different ways in which you can say no. Number 1, I'm sorry, I'm doing something right now. I can't do it now. You have not said an actual no, but you have said not now. If they can wait till you are free, why not? But not now. If you can actually do it later, say, come back at. You know, sometimes we leave gaps in our schedule for rest. If that rest is not important to you and you can help them during that time, come back at so time. Another way is, I would love to help you, but you have a reason now. I'm doing something. This thing, if you explain the importance of what you're doing, this thing is directly impacting my future. When the person insists, you already understand. You are an enemy of the future. You know? But let them know what you are doing and how important it is to the vision you have for your life. Another way, they do it to me all the time. I've learned. Let me think about it. Some people will not think about it, but they will say, let me think about it. Some people will think about it to weigh how it would affect their lives. I don't think anybody should accept to do anything without requesting to think about it, except if you can think about it on your feet. Let me think about it. Don't jump into my day and bamboozle me. Oh, you're thinking let's go somewhere that I was not going to go before. No, hold on. Let me process it. And then I'll tell you if you fix it or if it's not. Another one is, I am not the best person to help you with this. And then you refer them to somebody else. It depends on what they want to do. They are going to interrupt your schedule. The time you want to give them is the time for that referral. I'm not the best person. I'm not in the best position position to help you with this task. So and so person can do it better. So let them go and try their luck elsewhere. What will take you 3 hours has taken you 3 minutes of referring to somebody else. And the last one is no, I cannot. So even if I agreed to it before, and as of today, it is no longer convenient, it is not convenient for me. And please, there are manipulative people in your life that will apply guilt on it when you say no. You have to love yourself first. Even when the Bible was going to tell us to love people, it says love them as you love yourself, not more than yourself. So if you are not loving your dream enough, you cannot help them love their dream. So don't let anybody bully you into feeling bad because you are favoring yourself. Sometimes you are so stressed that you know it is just 2 hours of sleep. But that is when they will come. That sleep they will collect it from you. You need to love yourself enough to sleep at that time. And they will say, but you are not doing anything. To you. For me, I'm doing what that 2 hours sleep can give you 20 hours work. You need that 2 hours. It is important for your future because it makes you productive. So the next thing is where she came from and where she came from as well. And that's why I said there are a lot of teachers in the house. Leverage on people. You know, I've spoken about focus and I said be an expert at something. Be an expert at something. If you're an expert at something, then that means that there are many people that are better at many other things you need to do than you. Use them. But it is only using if you are not giving value. When we are giving value, we are helping ourselves. It's not using people anymore. So, when you want to achieve more and do less and focus on the things that you know you will get high results with, you must work with people. The first way is delegate. We have spoken about that at length. Collaborate. Collaborate means that you work with other people on one project. There's a difference between building a team and teaming. Teaming is pulling together experts in their own right to come and work on something. There was a time I wanted to do a book launch. I had a digital marketer on the team. I had an event planner on the team. I had a publisher on the team. I had a decorator on the team. All of us, let's sit down, how would we do it? And in even the social media campaign, everybody had to have an input. Because the decorator knows what decorating people can help you push publicity. So you leverage on everybody's strength. They pull their weight in their area of expertise, and then they can even advise on what looks better generally. But then it was my book launch. I had friends that did all these things. I had people that they are just influencers, nothing else, but they were on the team. We had a team of about 10 people. And what did I give them? Lunch. And we planned the lunch together. And at the lunch, I gave them t-shirts to wear. But the value they brought to that event made all the difference. Because everybody was a leader in their industry. And they did not mind helping me. Why? Because we had a network. Because when we sat beside each other the first place we met, we took each other's numbers. And we did not throw it away. We called. You know, the little things you heard that you did not apply yourself to, it's not enough to take the number. It's not enough. Don't call, please, take my number here. Don't call me to treat me. I've said it before. But if I share something and you want to learn more or you want to contribute something, and someone here is always, thank you very much for your contributions. No matter what I do, even if I'm writing stories, he will tell you his opinion, his perspective, and I like writing questions inside the stories. He will answer the question and ask me, and give a fresh perspective. And then the perspective becomes material to share with fellow students. Value. If you take somebody's phone number and you are networking, please share value. And then sharing value has to be a lifestyle. It's not enough to be dancing on your status. You now download joke, you will download TikTok. The quotes in the book you are reading, share, it makes a difference. That is why somebody will listen to you when you are talking. If it's dancing all the time, serious-minded people won't talk to you. If it's also macaroni, serious-minded people won't talk to you. You are attending this seminar. Post. After a while, you just notice that the day of the seminar, some people are trying to partake in the seminar from your status or from your stories. And if you don't go, they will ask you, "I didn't go this month. We did not see the story." But it's like you are gaining something from knowing you. If people don't gain anything from knowing you, what I have advised you to do to them is what they will do to you. They will dump you. And when you come and ask them for a request, they will say what? No. So give value. And that is how we identify people we can collaborate with. I have had cake emergencies this week. I'm definitely taking a number. That means that we did, as a matter of fact, it's my mother's birthday today, and I did not get cake. So if I get to take it 2 hours, let us. Do you understand what I'm saying? This is how to find collaboration. There are people you can work with, and they are everywhere. There are people that can help you. If you have a surprise birthday planning agency, your birthday planning agency, your birthday surprise or event surprise agency has just taken a new shape. The day you find somebody that can produce cake in 2 hours. That means if they call you at 5 a.m. that you must do parara at 6 a.m., there will be parara. You don't know parara. You know parara. That thing we used to disturb our neighbors. The ones that don't live there, they will wake up and us. Synergize. And synergy is better than collaboration or cooperation because the results you get from synergy is larger than what you would have gotten if you had done by yourself. And that is pulling everybody's network, leveraging on their strengths, and achieving more. It's important when you are working with people to look out for the things you like. If we are all good in what I'm doing, we are not going to do well together. If I am the talker, let me look for the thinker, and then look for the doer. With the three of us, the kind of things we will come up with will be so fantastic that people will not be wondering who is the weight. We are all the weight. Because where one person is not so strong, the other person is as strong. So, I am sure I have said a lot of these things. Maximize your money, and that is the purpose of this small party. One person comes to the other person. Can you come to my meeting at 8 a.m. tomorrow? And what did that person say? No. Yes, it's the most valuable word. And he explained, I reserve the first few hours of every morning for useful work. And the other person answers, that feels like an insult. And the person says, I call it good time management. That's why when you draw up your to-do list, the first thing on your to-do list is the most important thing to move your life forward. That thing is the thing you do first every day. Do not let random invitations from people that were not thinking about you before steal your most important activity for the day. If the person was thinking about you before, it's not that morning that will be inviting you to his meeting for that morning. You were not a part of the plan. Let them go ahead with their plan. You will join them later. After you have attended to what you know is your plan. You need to recharge by taking breaks. If you don't take breaks, you'll be worn out, your productivity level will drop. So, and you'll be shocked. That 10-minute nap might be all you need to refresh. I work better in the mornings. So when I feel I'm reading and not relating, I just close the door, not just close my door, so that nobody can enter. And then close my eyes, I'm not doing anything. Maximum 15-20 minutes. If I read again, after the rest, he enters. You also need to be able to identify when you are hitting a brick wall. If you are reading a book and you read the line 5 times, you should know something is wrong. You need to either get up and take a stroll, or take a nap, or take a snack. do something. You need to change what you are doing when you are not getting the kind of results you want, otherwise you'll be wasting time. Especially with reading, when you have read the same line and you can't remember what that line is, it's time to move on. Practice single handling. Single handling is focusing on a task until you get it done before doing anything else. From time to time, there are some things in this life that you need to do. The people that are building careers, the reworking of your CV is something that should go under single handling. What do you do when you want to single handle? You turn off your phone. You lock the door. You go away from everybody that can stop you from doing what you want to do. And you do it. You will take 2 hours and solve a problem you have been grappling with for 2 months. Many of us know that there are some things that if you sit down with it, in 2 hours you will break it. But because before that 2 hours is complete, somebody will be calling you from somewhere, you cannot devote that time to it. Make it important and then block off everything else and do it. That's why Nike will say, just do it. Once you have done it, you have done it. There is a particular type of to-do list I advocate that people should have. It's called an unfinished business list. There are too many things you have started in this life that you did not finish. At least once a week, do single handling and remove something from that list. You have just filed, you started writing a book, you abandoned it. You started creating a model, you abandoned it. You are trying to do business plan, you abandoned it. At least once a week, take 2 hours off to make sure that you become a finisher before you give yourself a name of somebody with abandoned project. And you know that when we spoke about the Galatia effect, there is a lot that has to do with your faith in yourself. If you begin to see yourself as somebody that does not finish, it will begin to reflect in everything you do. So affirm yourself by dedicating time to being a finisher at least once a week. And then that week you will say, something I've been chasing for 3 years, I did it this week. It helps boost you for other achievements. These meetings, this type of meeting, don't attend it. Impromptu meetings. Then a meeting that they don't know what they want to say there. Don't go. Because they will first of all discuss the sun, the moon, the weather, time, and you know what happens in those meetings. You will be remembering the things you are supposed to be doing. Unfortunately, the people there are people you cannot look at their face. And then you'll be thinking, I would have done chapter 3 by now. And you are away. But you don't walk away from them. Don't walk in there until you have established that they have a to-do list for the meeting, an agenda. Can you come? We are meeting tomorrow. What are we discussing? What time is it starting? What time is it ending? And when they are told you what time is starting and what time is ending, you tell them, okay, so since you say it's ending by 9, I've told somebody to come and see me at 10. So that by the time it's 9:15, you can carry your bag. You know I told you somebody is waiting.